Golden State Warriors forward Draymond Green is facing discipline following an altercation with Jordan Poole during a practice session in early October. According to Shams Charania, Anthony Slater, and Marcus Thompson of The Atlantic, the Warriors are considering serious disciplinary action against Green following a heated interaction with Poole in which they were chest to chest before pushing and shoving each other. So stay tuned and don't go away, because Warriors Draymond Green says, "Not getting contract extension doesn't mean I won't be back." Plus, report Warriors Draymond Green to face discipline after Jordan Poole altercation. First up, just why exactly is Warriors Draymond Green set to face discipline for Jordan Poole altercation? You're about to find out. Green forcefully struck Poole, and the two subsequently needed to be separated. The team was then forced to stop the practice in an attempt to calm everyone in the locker room. It's alleged that Green swung at Poole and did in fact make contact with a closed fist. A report on the incident concluded that Green and Poole were routinely involved in verbal arguments behind the scenes. However, the Warriors' management and leadership team are of the opinion that the incident went too far. CJ Holmes of the San Francisco Chronicle reported that Green will be disciplined for the altercation, but that the Warriors don't think the altercation will be an issue in the future. Green has a reputation of being vocal on the court, both in practice sessions and in the midst of games. The vast majority of Green's teammates have no issue with Green's vocalizations, but Poole at times certainly does. Dante DiVincenzo signed with the Warriors as a free agent in July, and he loves how Green takes charge on the court. On September 24th, DiVincenzo said, "That's what he does. That's all I've heard since I got here, and I witnessed it for the first day. It's contagious, I would say. His positive energy correcting people, teaching people right away was great." Next up, do some players take Green's style personally? Let's take a look. Back in November of 2020, Warriors GM Bob Myers told James Wiseman during his introductory press conference not to take Green's intense attitude to heart because he's that way with everyone. Myers reportedly told Wiseman, "He wants to win so bad. Don't take it personally. He's yelled at me. I don't think he's yelled at Joe Jacob. He's yelled at Steve Kerr for sure. He's yelled at all our teammates. Yelled at Steph Curry. May have yelled at the media. That's just who he is. But he wins. So if you want to learn anything from that guy, he's a winner." Despite the fact that almost everyone with the Warriors understands Green's attitude and practice habits, the incident with Poole went far beyond the norm. Green and Poole are two of the most important players on the Warriors team. Poole ranks third on the team with 18.5 points per game and made 36.4% of his three-point attempts. Green is still one of the best defense players in the NBA. Poole is currently seeking a long-term contract extension entering the final year of his rookie deal, and Green is going into the last guaranteed year of his current contract with a $27.6 million player option for the 2023-24 season. Up next, will Draymond Green get his contract extended? Let's find out. Draymond Green told reporters he doesn't plan to focus on his uncertain contract situation. "I spoke on that at the very beginning of training camp. I said, I don't think we'll do an extension. Quite frankly, that doesn't mean that I won't be back here. I just don't think we'll do an extension this year. So I said that at camp. That's not something I'm going to talk about all year. Right now, the biggest thing on Green's mind is that the Warriors have a championship to win. He's clearly focused on the prize and doesn't want anything to get in the way of that." Green also admits that he doesn't like to take part in what he refers to as contract drama. But as far as the Green and Poole sitch is concerned, Green was apologetic in the aftermath of the altercation with Jordan Poole, but there was a build-up in tensions between the pair ever since teammates noticed a change in Poole's behavior during training camp. Green denies punching Poole over a contract situation and explained, "I can assure you I don't count other people's pockets. The way I was raised, that is simply hating on another man's situation. I was dealing with some personal stuff and brought it into the gym." At the time of this recording, Green and Poole appeared to have patched things up. They're communicating well and even high-fiving each other. Stay tuned and don't go away because we're about to reveal the latest NBA news. Next up, speaking of on-court beef, what on earth happened between the Toronto Raptors' Christian Coloco and the Miami Heat's Caleb Martin? Let's try to unpack this one. The epic battles between the Raptors and the Heat are always physical and intense, but on Saturday, October 22nd, things spiraled out of hand. With less than 8 minutes remaining in the third quarter, the Raptors were down to 22 points, and Caleb Martin from the Heat and Raptors rookie Christian Coloco got tangled up beneath the basket after Pascal Siakam missed a three-pointer from the corner. After Martin Martin was whistled for a loose ball foul, Koloko wasted no time in grabbing an offensive rebound over Martin. Martin stood over Koloko, and when he came up from the floor, Martin bizarrely tackled him into the first row of seats near the baseline. Thankfully, Heat and Raptors players rushed in and were able to separate Martin and Koloko before things spiraled further out of control. Both Koloko and Martin received technical fouls and were swiftly ejected from the game. It's still possible that both players face additional disciplinary action from the league in response to the bizarre incident. Reporters asked Koloko about the incident, and he explained that he didn't know what was going through Martin's head. Koloko explained, "I was as confused as you. I don't know. I have no idea. He was looking at me aggressively, so I just stood up for myself." Martin shed light on the situation, saying, "There were a lot of plays leading up to it. It was a chippy game. That's typically how the game goes with Toronto. It's chippy, back and forth. But ultimately, I think that emotions were high, and the game was a close game back and forth. Overall, I gotta be more professional in the way I handle those types of situations." Up next, why did Scottie Barnes suddenly leave a recent game? You're able to find out. Toronto Raptors forward Scottie Barnes scored 11 points in 13 minutes, but while making a hard drive toward the basket, he collided with Miami's Tyler Herro, sprained his right ankle, and was forced to immediately return to the locker room. Barnes is currently the reigning Kia Rookie of the Year after averaging 15.3 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, and 3.5 assists in his first season with the Raptors franchise. After a relatively quiet offseason, Toronto is looking for continued growth from Scottie Barnes to return to title contention. One thing is clear, the Raptors can't afford any more injuries or suspensions. The Raptors are already playing without forwards Otto Porter Jr. and Chris Boucher, who are both dealing with injured left hamstrings. Porter has already been ruled out for their game on Monday, October 24th, and Boucher is being marked down as questionable. If Koloko gets suspended for the incident with Caleb Martin, that means the Raptors will be even thinner up front. Another Raptors player to watch out for is point guard Fred VanVleet. VanVleet hasn't had the best start to the season. During the game with the Heat, VanVleet failed to get any points in the first half and even picked up 4 fouls. He then got whistled for a 5th foul 20 seconds into the third period and finished with 7 points on 2 for 9 shooting, including 1 for 6 and 3-pointers. For the season thus far, VanVleet is averaging 13 points per game with 8 assists, and he also leads the Raptors in steals, averaging 3.7 steals per game. Finally, what big decision did WNBA star Brittney Griner make while sitting in Russian prison? Brittney Griner recently made a tough decision while sitting in a Russian prison. The WNBA star is being used as some sort of political pawn by the Kremlin and has been sentenced to 9 years in Russian prison on drug charges. Griner is alleged to have had 2 marijuana vape pens on her person when her bags were searched at an airport, even if she was in possession of cannabis vape pens, which are legal in several countries around the world. A 9-year prison sentence seems patently absurd. The United States government is struggling to bring Griner home via a prisoner swap. However, for Russia, returning Griner to the U.S. is extremely low on their list of priorities. ESPN's TJ Quinn recently spoke with Griner's lawyers, who said they tried to bring Brittney a basketball in prison, but she doesn't have the heart to play. Quinn said, "I asked Griner's lawyer if she had an opportunity to play basketball since she was detained. She said the jail has a hoop, but no ball. When Griner's lawyers offered to bring one, Brittney declined, saying it was too painful to think about." That's a wrap for today's video. Thanks for watching.